said, just take it out of my mouth.
You have to go right there. You have to go there.
All right, so this week's episode, I've been wanting to do this one for a while, is going to be our top 10 favorite comedians. I have the feeling we're going to have a lot of crossover, but this bone has a lot of meat on it. We can go a lot of places with this. So I guess, why don't we all do our number 10, and then we'll go backwards from there to maybe talk about them if they're different, or if we all happen to have the same number 10.
I got to go last then because I didn't rank them, but I will do that.
Okay. So
that's hard, man.
Let's wait.
Zeus. Yeah, no, I'm here, but I didn't rank them either. I just picked 10. I figured
you can look at them and okay, then I'll do them 10 down, and you guys, that gives you guys time to
Well, I think we're gonna hit a lot of common denominators that we can discuss anyway. And I saw you guys were messing around with pulling up images of these guys, so that's great.
I got them all. I got all mine. So
yeah, I don't have all
even
mine.
the Dark Horse ones I've got on, so we can just put them up there.
Yeah, if somebody mentions one, Zeus, you're at the you have the trigger finger there, so you can probably pull one up.
Yeah. I have a few creative ones, by the way.
All right, cool. I like your background tonight. That's good shit.
That's Max, yeah. Ruby Soho.
Yeah.
So, well, for me, I ranked mine, so I'm gonna go with mine ranked. My number 10, starting from the not worst, but the furthest down the list to the highest, was this one. You guys may or may not agree, but I feel like Stephen Wright was amazing in his time. Like he was iconic. He created a whole new kind of humor, at least for me. I mean, if it wasn't for him, we wouldn't have our Mitch Hedbergs or comedians like that. The one-liners, he was the master. And deadpan, like, amazing.
Yeah, I agree, Zeus. I've got Wright in my top 10.
Wow, but he's not your 10, huh? You there, Jack?
He's frozen.
What about you, Mike? What would you say is probably your,
it's hard to tell if he's frozen or not.
Oh yeah. Wait a second. Repeat it one more time in case you didn't hear it. What was your number 10?
Your 10, Jack, or
No, I didn't. I was just commenting, Zeus, that I have Wright in my top 10 as well. Like I think back upon that time when I first saw him, and the fact that you could do a special that was 60 minutes of deadpan just jokes, like not observational comedy really, just
and
every now and then he'd crack a smile,
but barely.
Like the guy was just on point. He had an act, and he did it with one-liners like Dangerfield.
Yeah.
Honestly,
I'd say better than Dangerfield. Dangerfield was funny, but more movie funny, not so much. I didn't, he was okay.
No, his stand-up was good too. But I mean, Wright was absurd. The shit that he came up with, like
he's got, and I'll get into this, but I'm a horrible joke teller. I have horrible comic timing, but I love jokes. I love comedians. But one of my favorite jokes was Wright, where he says that, his house is located on the median of an interstate. And so when he leaves his driveway, he has to be driving 55 miles an hour immediately. And he went out one night and he got pulled over, and the cop was like, "How fast are you going?" And he's like, "I don't know." He's like, "You're going 55 miles an hour." He's like, "That's impossible. I wasn't planning on being out that long." Which I thought was just, the big setup for.
I always love my favorites is I have two things to say about him that's amazing. But one of my favorite comedic bits that he did or just jokes, was obviously driving Parkway, parking a driveway was hilarious. He's probably best known for that one. But I always love the he's on the bus and he sits next to the most beautiful black woman with blonde hair he's ever met. and he's like, "What's your name?" And I forget what her name was, but it eventually comes around to that she really wants to date a Jewish cowboy. And he says, "Hi, my name's Bucky Goldstein." which for me, that's hilarious. But the other the really cool thing is his voice was so iconic as far as comedians go, that I loved that he was the radio guy in Reservoir Dogs.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Just, and it was like, the reason that it was so good is everybody knows his voice. So it's like, wow, that's cool. Stephen Wright out of the blue.
What was it was like monster hits of the 70s or something.
Yes,
it just mixed with it so well, and if you get the album, he does all those little things in between for each song.
Yeah,
really cool. He probably could have been a DJ.
He also wasn't he like the guy on the couch in Half Baked, or is that someone else? That may have been someone else.
That might have been him. I don't remember. It's been.
He played like his character was just like a guy that slept on the couch. Though I don't even think he had any lines. He was just like in their apartment.
That's
I think he would fit in there.
I know that he did well, one of the guys on my list did like a drama called Horace and Pete, which was like a serious dramedy that actually was really dark, and it took place in a bar. And a lot of comics that this guy works with or has worked with over the years are in it. And Stephen Wright played like one of the barfly guys. And he's just Stephen Wright. Like, he's in character as like, it's hard to think of Stephen Wright as anything but that character.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's like, what's he like in real life? Like, you know what I mean? Like, he actually was an iconic personality that can't be him. Like, he's literally performing. Like, I mean, like, there's no way anybody is like that all the time.
Would it be great if he was like loud and boisterous behind the scenes?
That's
Like
what I mean. Like, you imagine what he's like in real life, and it's just like
a go-getter ball buster dude or whatever, you know?
Just an asshole.
Yeah. Like,
so whatever happened to him? Like, I mean, I hate to ask that, but I haven't seen him do any work, and
he's probably independently wealthy. I'm sure he's not hurting for cash.
No.
Didn't he pass away?
No, please don't tell me that.
I don't think so.
He's one of the ones that would bother me, like Robin Williams when he died. That was a rough day.
Well,
Hedberg is dead, right?
Yeah.
Well, I was Stephen Wright, though. I think
he's alive.
No, Hedberg is dead.
No, I think Stephen Wright is alive. But what's cool about him too is
he's alive
nowadays with all the there was never a scandal. There was never any stories about him.
Not with him, no.
No, nothing. You never heard like,
oh my gosh,
stories about the guy. And nowadays that's what we do.
This is
he's 65 years old now.
Everywhere is walking distance if you have the time. I went to a restaurant that serves breakfast at any time, so I ordered French toast during the Renaissance. Yeah, I mean, he's just fantastic.
No, he had a couple of bits I remember. He had one where he's like, I got a buddy who he models for those trophies they give to Little League. He's this tall. Only he was standing up, so he like put his hand down at the stage. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He did. I wanted to confuse my dog, so I named him Stay, and I just keep going. Come stay.
Right.
All right. So.
Well, I think I'm up. I think I'm up. Well, unless somebody else wants to go. Oh, Darcy's coming in.
Woohoo!
I think
he's coming in. Yeah, I see him
connecting.
No, one guy. See, what I did was when I figured out my 10, I realized that 4 of them are current, still performing. And
Mm.
I realized that 4 of them were more from the 80s, and 2 of them are like 70s icons. And hey, Darcy, nice haircut, buddy.
All right.
Yeah, got to get out of the COVID mess, you know.
So, I mean, I don't want to go with an easy one, but I'll say as far as the 80s, I guess it is easy because I think you guys talked about them leading up to the podcast, and so maybe you could repeat what you said. But I got to go 80s. I think of Sam Kinison.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny you say that. I have him, but he didn't make my top 10.
Okay.
It's not that he's not effing hilarious, but it just not enough of I'm big about body of work. You know what I mean?
Oh,
And
he
didn't live
died.
long- I know.
Yeah.
He didn't live long enough to do it. But that being said, yeah, he was great. I mean, a top 10 list for this is crazy hard to do. I mean, I feel pretty good about the ones I picked, but yeah, Sam Kinison was amazing.
I
Yeah.
give him. I mean, I got him. I probably have him ranked higher than anyone. I had him as my number 7, and
Oh, wow.
I did like him a lot. I had his like Have You Seen Me Lately and a couple other of his albums, but I give a lot of like for Zeus saying body of work. For me, I give a lot of weight to kind of breaking the mold a little bit and kind of being their charting their own path, creativity,
It was so
creativity.
different.
Yeah, I mean, he really did. I mean, there just wasn't anyone like him. You weren't like, I mean, I love Mitch Hedberg, but I don't have him on my top 10 because he's kind of like, if there wasn't Stephen Wright, you wouldn't have a Mitch Hedberg, really.
Right.
But Kinison, it's hard to really say that. I mean, he was really an original.
And like, I think his comedy was good, but I think what broke him out was, first of all, there was this great show. It wasn't Herman's Head, but it was like one of those first Fox shows. It was with one of the guys from Animal House, and Sam Kinison played like his guardian angel.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and it was hilarious. That and Back to School, man. That scene with him
Yeah.
was amazing.
I remember growing up, I was lucky enough we had cable TV, we had HBO. And
Fancy lad.
and no, but we grew up. If you had HBO and you liked stand-up comedy,
Oh, it's golden.
they were cranking out specials, and they were doing. Rodney Dangerfield hosted the Young Comedians of the Year, and like you had Jim Carrey, you had Robin Williams when he first started coming up. You had a lot of guys that became megastars, and Sam Kinison started on one of those things, and I was peeing my pants.
Oh, he's hilarious.
And the next thing you know, he was getting HBO specials. Like he was putting together an hour of material. And then when you hear from comics talk about him, he was so off the rails on stage and in real life. It was kind of like Doug Stanhope is now. Like the guy is a drunk and the guy plays the character, but like
It's not that much of a character.
not that much of a character. Like that's the guy. And Kinison just blew the doors off clubs. And and he was a guy that was like a Bible belter minister.
He was an evangelist. An evangelist. Yeah, that was the cool thing about him was his backstory was pretty interesting.
Yeah,
he was the evangelist. Did he marry Jessica Hahn or did he?
Yeah, I think he did.
And how he died.
Yeah, but he did stand up about it after too. Like he talked about it. Like he was that close to getting his shit together, man.
It's really sad. His is a sad story.
Yeah, but his stand-up, if you can catch any albums or any specials, I mean, it's explosive. I mean, not just because he's screaming. The guy's fucking hilarious. The thing about the Feed the Children is one of the best sketches.
can't the cameraman like give the kid a sandwich?
Yeah, yeah. And he's talking about like, don't send them food, kids. Don't send them food. Send them U-Hauls. Send them U-Hauls. Send them luggage.
Somebody else did one about move them where the food is. Was that
Go to where the food
that
is.
was him. That was him.
Yeah, that one's pretty funny.
Yeah, he's like, you live in a desert.
You know what this is? This is sand.
This
You know what
is
it's going to be
sand.
100 years from now? It's going to be sand.
It's sand.
Oh yeah. So I
He's great.
so I agree with Stephen Wright. Yeah, and I would put Kennison in any top 10.
It's one of those things. I get where you're coming from. He's just not, he's just not.
All
my,
right.
Yeah, you can't.
You know?
We can all. I mean, I listed 30. I love. So
Yeah, same
you
here.
know, I'm gonna. It's hard to get to 10.
Yeah,
you know?
but honestly, if everybody just gets a turn and picks one from their 10, we're gonna have a lot of consensus and we're gonna have a lot of outliers when we're done. So
let's keep rolling. We'll each start at
Yeah.
10 and we'll work our way down. I think
Go,
we
Mike.
can do this. Oh, me?
Yeah.
This one's not going to be popular, and and I could put
That's
20
good.
ahead of this guy, but
That's
I had
good.
to get him in my top 10.
Good.
Is Norm Macdonald, because he just cracks. He just cracks me up, man. He just makes me laugh, and always has.
Hey,
Yeah.
he's got a little Stephen Wright to him.
He does.
Yeah, very deadpan.
And he's almost, the thing I like about him personally is he doesn't come across as a comedian. He just comes across as like a guy who's completely lucked out and has this stage, but like has no real talent. He's just, I know he does have talent.
Oh no,
But
he's brilliant. Yeah, he's brilliant.
He's made me laugh since I first watched him. So anyway, I won't spend much time on him, but he's my number 10.
No,
His Burt Reynolds on Saturday Night Live is one of the funniest things I've ever seen.
no. Also, he was one of the best. He's probably my favorite or my second favorite Weekend Update guy. And the other guy, like Norm Macdonald, I had Norm in my honorable mentions. And I also have another SNL Weekend Update guy in my honorable mentions for a stand-up, but he's not in my top 10. So
Okay. No,
Stephen Wright. He was
You got
one of
him.
my favorites when I was a little kid.
Yeah, we
Saturday Night Live. It was the what was the one? It was my favorite. I was like 8 years old or something like that. And it was like
Stephen
the whole
Wright?
thing about Stephen Wright. He had this one skit where it was about going the speed of light, driving a car at the speed of light, and turn on the lights. Do they work? And the other one was like, why do we drive in parkways and park in driveways?
Yes.
And I thought that was the funniest thing when I was a little kid. I don't know why. I thought that was
It's great.
because he was the one. He had the long hair back then.
Yeah.
Long hair. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, we caught Darcy, you missed it. He was in our at least a couple of top 10.
He was Zeus's
Okay.
number 10.
yeah.
Okay.
And what's your number 10, Darcy? We'll jump.
Okay. Well, when I was reading the text back and forth, you guys were just talking about like of each decade or whatever. So
That's
I just
fine.
did. So I just did
Okay.
that, and I started off with the '60s. So I was like
Oh, cool.
Red Fox,
Oh, yeah.
60s, '70s Richard Pryor,
Yep.
'80s Eddie Murphy for me,
Yeah.
of course.
I'm noticing a
Let's see.
trend here.
Then '90s was
He's got two of
'90s was
mine.
Richard Jenny. He's
Good.
the Platypus Man.
Richard
I know him as the
Jenny.
Platypus Man.
I slept
Yeah.
on
Talk about him.
And-
man.
And then during the aughts, it was both to me it was Kevin Hart and David Chappelle.
Right.
Well, now I'm a fan of Steve Hofstede.
I don't
Okay.
know.
I gotta look
I
him
like
up.
Steve
I don't know
Austin
him.
too. All right. Well,
I like his heckle. He has
Well-
this whole heckling thing or whatever.
I think
No.
a lot of us did just top 10 or 10 favorites, and you definitely touched upon a couple of mine. So I don't know if you want to go to Tom or we could talk about one of those guys.
Let's talk. Well, why don't you pick one and we'll talk about them.
Who would
And
you
then
say
we'll
is
go
your
to Tom.
least favorite of them?
Darcy, who's your
Yeah, your least favorite of those guys,
My least favorite.
because we're counting it down.
Probably
Not that they're bad.
probably-
It's just
That's probably Kevin Hart. He's probably my least favorite.
Okay.
It's a
Of my
but it's
favorites.
it's a murderer's row of guys. Like so, it's even your least
Right.
favorite. It's a great dude. I mean,
Yeah,
Kevin
yeah,
Hart's
yeah,
awesome.
yeah.
Yeah,
Because I still think he's hilarious. You know.
yeah.
What I'll
He's got
say
a
about
great
him is
voice.
he's another one where I really like him on film.
Yeah, me too.
But I think he's the same when he's doing his act. Like I think it comes across as very much like that's him probably. But
Right. But I
he
think
also
his
seems like a
skit is
very
more
bright guy.
right.
Like,
Super bright.
yeah, he's
Yeah.
like all over the place. He markets himself well. He's got an interesting history. I believe there was like some murder in his past or something like that. Like I don't quote me on that. But I know that he has a bit of a messed up childhood. Yeah, he's really cool. I like him. There's one movie that he was in that I really liked, the one with The Rock. Shoot, what was it called? You know which one I'm talking about, where The Rock's like a CIA agent?
And he's the short guy.
Yeah,
Like every movie. Yeah.
Short guy.
no,
He's the little guy. He's the little guy.
Well,
Was
yeah,
Rock the
yeah.
little guy?
I mean,
they show The Rock
He's
as a
in
kid.
Jumanji.
He's all fat, and they have him dancing around. It's just a fat body with The Rock's face.
I like him. I like him. He was on Joe Rogan. He did a whole podcast with Rogan, and I know him as the short guy and very outrageous guy. And he's very thoughtful.
Yeah,
And-
really.
And, no, but also he seems to have his shit together.
Way together. He's great. in
And a lot of comics, like you think about Sam Kinison, like we talked about Stephen Wright. There's no indication that he ever got in any trouble. Whereas Kinison got caught up with the drugs and the porn stars, and we could talk about so many actors and comics that have gone down that road. Kevin Hart just seems like a family guy who is just really fucking hilarious and has enough of a past where he has insight that he can make jokes about it. And like, what else would you want?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I'm a fan of Kevin Hart. I'm more like Zeus. Like I know him from his movies, and but I've seen one of his stand-ups and I thought it was hilarious.
Yeah, he's funny. It's like I said, he didn't make my list, but again, this is hard. It's a hard list to do. It just is.
Right. Well,
Yeah.
also Darcy stuck with the one from a decade thing, and as opposed to we're all just kind of going with our 10 that we selected as our favorite.
hmm
The text change does change, as it says.
It's an evolving thing.
Yeah. All right, Tom, you want to pick one, man?
Sure, I'll give you one. This is maybe a bit of an oddball. Maybe not be. It might not be on your list. Relatively new, but I'll put him in at number 10. Jim Gaffigan. I don't know if you guys like Jim. He's
Yeah, I
famous
do.
for the bacon jokes
And
that just go on and on and on.
Hot Pockets.
Pockets.
Hot Pockets.
He's been in a couple movies too where he's
Yeah.
been good.
He's getting out there, and
Oh yeah, I like that guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
if you can pull up a picture, you may not recognize the name, but if you see him, you'll probably recognize him. But he has a very unique style of doing his stand-up, and the way that he kind of like constantly goes off to the side, does this little side voice,
Yeah.
like
I
his
love
inner
the
voice,
side
or what's that?
They meant that.
Right. And it's kind of like a heckler, like a soft female voice heckler that keeps like interjecting into his stand-up routine. It's really unique, and he just makes me laugh.
He's got an interesting story too, and I'm 90% sure that his wife does a lot of his writing.
Oh yeah.
That they're kind of like a team.
Yeah, and also they've got like 9 kids.
Mm-hmm.
And they're all pale.
Well, yeah. He
Well-
was a guy last year during 2020. He posted a lot. I don't know if you guys followed him online, but he posted like a bunch of he would put together clips about different topics like fast food, and he'd put all of his jokes about fast food together and do like a 10-minute, and he would have so much material on all these different crazy topics. But during the pandemic, he kept putting those out there, and I spent a lot of hours. I have to admit, just watching these videos. If you haven't seen them, by all means, check them out because you'll be thoroughly entertained.
Yeah,
Yeah, he was like a pretty good quarterback in college.
Was
Yeah,
Really?
yeah.
I didn't know that.
I didn't.
Judge by the shape of him, I wouldn't think so.
Yeah, he seems like a big dude.
Yeah, more like a defensive end or something.
No,
I
he's
have an
a big
idea.
guy, but he looks like he might have been in shape at one point.
Yeah.
We've
We-
all
we
been
all
in shape
were.
at one point.
That's
Yeah.
right.
It was
Point.
1 point. No, I was saying I had an idea when we're going through our list. If we get to your point on the list and it's someone we already talked about, just mention them and go to the next, the next
Yeah.
guy.
I'm putting in substitutes because actually Kinnison was my first number 10, but I substituted Gaffigan.
I'm having trouble pulling
Yeah,
up Gaffigan. I think all of us know him though.
I'm
Yeah.
just sticking with my 10, and if they,
I've got 37, so I've got
Oh.
plenty.
And let's do
no,
at the end. Let's do a rapid fire.
And best and
our
honorable mentions.
hitters. Yeah.
All right, you're up, Zeus. What's your number 9?
My number 9 is going to be the first lady. We got him. There's Jim
There he
Gaffigan.
is.
Bye bye.
Oh yeah.
All right. So.
well, wait a minute. Wait, just to chime in, what I like about Gaffigan too is it's clean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's observational comedy. It's clean, and that's sort of refreshing now. And I'm not one of these like hand wringers, like the people he makes fun of in the audience that are heckling. You know what I mean? Like I like good raunchy comedy, but I like Gaffigan because I could watch him with my kids,
Yeah.
How about
And-
Brian Regan's like that?
and they're crying.
Oh yeah.
They're crying when they watch him because they're laughing so
Yeah.
hard.
Yeah. Gaffigan does a great bit about where he talks about when he opened for the Pope, which is true. Like when the
Wow.
Pope came to the United States and
He's
he was
Catholic.
like the warm-up act.
Yeah,
It's a hilarious bit, but
yeah. That's
So
cool. All right,
you guys all
again,
looked at that list that I sent, right? He's not on it. I don't think. I didn't see him.
no, he's
He
not.
might
on.
have made my top 10 actually. I think
Oh, the top
he's
50.
I think he's
Yeah.
brilliant. And
Yeah.
Wanda Sykes is. What? Huh?
Yeah, I know.
It probably went a little PC. I've
Margaret
seen some
Cho,
lists like
Margaret
that.
Cho's on the
I
list.
say, hey, I'll say it. Girls aren't funny.
That
Joan Rivers, man, come
you know
on.
what though? My number 9 is a funny girl, actually.
Who's
And I
that?
feel very strong about this one. Sarah Silverman is my number 9.
Hmm.
She is
Wow.
freaking hilarious.
I think she's funny. I don't know how she is a stand-up, but I would agree.
I don't know how she's in your top 10 of
Yeah,
all time.
I think that's a stretch, but
Even
hey, man,
Did you ever watch her show
yes,
your
I've
list?
seen her show.
where God is touching her face, like to being kind, and she puts his thumb in her mouth? Come on. I don't know. I think she's pretty funny.
Dude, if Lorne Michaels gives you like 2 minutes of stage time in the 10 years you're there, you're not that
Was she
funny.
on Saturday Night Live?
Yep.
She was just a writer.
No, she was on stage a couple of times, like maybe twice.
No,
I did not know that.
I'm
I like Julia Sweeney.
Yeah.
Maybe she wasn't ready for prime time.
No, she's not even ready for prime time. No, Zeus, I'll give you the diva song.
How about the song about what happened to all the white dog poop? Do you remember that?
True. Yeah. That's a good point.
I think she was very. I think she was very.
No, look up the diva song.
Okay, I will later.
All right, you're up, Jack.
Was
Number
it
9.
Dud? So who's next?
Jack.
Yeah, all right. Well, look, I mean, people have touched upon people so far in my top 2. We covered Kinnison and Stephen Wright. I'm gonna go with Darcy touched upon him, but I'm gonna actually no, Zeus touched upon him, I think. But I gotta go, if I go back to my 80s group,
Mm-hmm.
I gotta go. Darcy touched upon him rather. I gotta go Eddie Murphy.
Oh yeah,
I gotta go Eddie. Eddie deserves a pull up, man. Pull him up. Everybody knows
he's like
Eddie
my
Murphy.
number 8. He's great. No,
Yeah, Eddie Murphy.
Absolutely.
Eddie Murphy in the 80s. Well, before he even did his stand-up special, Eddie Murphy carried SNL.
Oh my
In
God!
Absolutely.
Buckwheat.
In my
Mr. Robinson's
opinion,
Neighborhood.
Eddie Murphy and Joe Piscopo on the same. They were the highlights of the same cast.
Yeah.
And Eddie Murphy, no offense to Joe, they were good partners. They did a lot of good shit together. But Eddie Murphy carried Saturday Night Live when they needed new blood, and the guy was so young.
Very young.
I mean, Jesus Christ, the talent the guy had. And then I'm a kid in the theater, and I see Eddie Murphy's Delirious.
Oh my God! Yeah.
Yeah, I bought that album for my mom.
Or
It was
Raw.
like,
Or Raw.
Seventh-
Oh, yeah.
seventh
Well,
grade.
No,
You know,
Raw came later.
Yeah.
But Delirious was the one with the gay honeymooners. I mean, like,
Hey, Norton. How would you
yeah,
like
I
to
mean-
fuck me up the butt?
yeah. I mean, and Michael Jackson on top of the fucking police car. Like, I'm crying my eyes out, and I couldn't believe I'm watching this on the same silver screen where I'm watching like Close Encounters of the Third Kind, and and then he's got the balls, or not the balls, but like the balls to go Hollywood. And I remember one of
Crushed it.
the Beverly Hills Cop, man. I mean, and then even before that,
48 hours. That was his
48
first
hours.
one.
Oh man,
Nope.
That was it. Darcy, when they first started selling VHS tapes, like where you could buy the movie, I had seen 48 Hours on HBO, and the first VHS tape I ever bought was 48 Hours. No shit.
I saw it the night it came out. I was
Yeah.
on a date with my mom. Well, she was on a date, but I was on the date.
I was gonna say
Right.
that's a little weird. Yeah, and he's constantly reinvented himself. He had a dry spell maybe in like the 90s, early 2000s, but he was still doing he went Disney. And
He had a kid and he was doing movies for kids. He went family.
how about Donkey in Shrek? He's one of
Oh,
the
yeah.
funniest
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, no. That guy went from what he was to I'm doing stuff for kids.
Right. Well, the lull period was when he was trying to be like super cool, and he was doing like Golden Child.
I love that.
Those ones
Oh,
didn't
yeah.
work at all.
I
And then he
love
figured
Golden
out, okay, I just need to do
Yeah.
something that's
It's
successful.
coming to America. That's like one of the movies. If it comes on, I don't care where it is in the movie, I'll
Oh
watch.
yeah, I've watched that movie like 500 times.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Arsenio Hall's funny as hell in
And
that.
John Amos he's the father-in-law. It's a
Right.
freaking fantastic character.
Right.
McDowell's.
That's too much.
Yeah.
But also now it's 2021, and Eddie Murphy
He's still doing it.
on Netflix. On Netflix, he did the biopic about Dolomite,
Yeah.
which is
I've yet to see that. That's on my list.
oh my god, you have to watch.
I know. I want to see it.
Isn't it a comedy?
It's really a biopic.
Dude, we should do a watch party and watch that.
Yeah.
I'll watch Dolomite totally. I watched it already. I loved it. I thought it was
The thing Murphy can do straight drama.
That's what
Yeah.
it
What
is.
was the
That's
what
what
was
it
that?
is. Oh, Mike,
What did he get the Oscar for?
It is.
Mike, it's a biopic. Like I mean,
Yeah.
Anytime you can
it's
sing the
just really
song, I want
funny.
to party.
Oh,
Nice.
that
You
was
can do some
terrible.
acting.
no, Tom, no.
Song?
The song was not. The song was good.
No.
Party all the time.
They loved it,
Party all
man.
the
People
time,
loved it.
party
People
all the
loved it.
time.
Well, no, but the Darcy, the best.
Like singing.
Darcy, the best was the B side because it was the whole thing about put it in your butt.
Oh, put it in your butt, right? Put
Yeah.
put it in
How
your
about
butt.
how about the fact that Rick James was in it with him for some reason? Remember Rick
Oh
James in the
man,
video?
Well, Zeus. They were friends.
yeah,
I know.
yeah.
It's funny. One of my favorite to this day. I remember the whole thing. It was a skit on Saturday Night Live. Two skits on Saturday Night Live that were hilarious. The one where he paints himself up to be a white man, and he's like,
Oh,
on the bus.
on the
guy, and
bus.
they're like, "Go ahead, take it."
Yeah.
And then he's like, "That silly Negro."
Right. Silly Negro. Yeah.
That one,
Hello.
and the one where they're trying to reform criminals, and he's in his cell, and they open up, and he's just in the window, and he reads this poem, and it's see a watchdog in the night. Do you know? Do he bite? Kill my landlord. Kill my landlord.
Right.
my landlord.
Right.
I
Oh, my
I die with that one every time. He was brilliant. He was so funny.
He was the shit.
And you know what? We got to call it what it is. He was iconic. I mean, he's another one that's iconic. He's like my number 8 because favorite, you know. But
the leather outfit was iconic.
Yeah.
he's done so many different things. He's done
Not enough zippers on clothes these days, man. That's
Not
what
enough.
I'm saying.
Him and Michael Jackson. That's really where it ended.
Yeah, pretty much.
So
Well,
who's next?
So my number 9, it's owes pretty much everything to Murphy, but Chris Rock, man, he just always has cracked me up, man.
Yeah.
He's just amazing and remains relevant. Oh man, here we go again. Hold on, he remains relevant.
You got the beer goggles on.
I know, and he
drunk again.
sorry, he remains relevant, and he is also he challenges things. You know, he's I don't know. I just love Chris Rock, man.
You know,
he does this great bit where he's talking about like where he lives. You know, there's only 2 African American people in the entire neighborhood, and like, you know, he's a world famous comedian, and like his next door neighbor is a dentist, and he's like, that's everything you need to know about how screwed up things are. You know, he's like, I'm a world famous, tour of the world, and the guy that lives next door to me is a freaking dentist.
you know,
it was just fantastic.
I'm more about his acting. He's another one where I'm more about what he's been in. Dogma. He was hilarious in Dogma.
Oh yeah, that Fifth Element.
No, that's Chris.
That's Chris Tucker.
Chris Tucker. Sorry.
Um,
yeah. Okay, sorry.
Who's great.
I get all
he was
Tucker is great.
Him
him hosting the awards, man. That's
And the other thing about Tucker I love is his presence on stage. If you watch his specials, he prowls the stage. Like
Wait, you mean Rock or Tucker?
No, I mean Rock, not Tucker.
Rock.
He pace. He's like on a hunt, man. He's fantastic. But anyway,
the thing that got me the most with him was, okay, tomorrow morning, everybody go to church. It was like right after what's his name, Marilyn Manson. I was like, man, that had me rolling for about 10 minutes.
Yeah, I remember the iconic Chris Rock stand-up set was about he basically N-words, and he goes off on this whole thing that got him in trouble.
mm-hmm.
Obviously he's dropping the word, but he's basically laying waste and laying judgment to people of his own. Like, I mean, like, it was really hard to watch, but funny. And I remember a lot of people were like, holy shit, because
I don't remember this.
Because Chris Rock hadn't done shit in a long time after SNL, and which he really didn't get a lot of time on SNL.
No, yeah, he didn't get a lot of time on SNL.
And he's publicly talked about how he was disgruntled at SNL. And
Well, he showed them.
And I think his first HBO special, he did this sketch where he's like, if you want to save your money and you're afraid of getting broken into by N-words, he's like, hide your money in books. Books are like kryptonite to him, man. I mean,
that was the same one where he was talking about gun control, and he's like, screw gun control, like bullet control, like make bullets $5,000 a piece.
Right.
That was his first HBO special.
That's a great line.
People will be like, see this guy riddled with bullets, and he's like, that's horrible, but he probably deserved it.
Right. But look, I will say this for Chris Rock, man. If you have access to streaming, do yourself a favor, rent Death at a Funeral.
Well,
Oh, with
I'm just telling you, he it's an all-star cast of comedians.
Kevin Kline is in there.
Love Kevin.
No. It's the American version. It's got
Peter Dinklage is in it.
Peter Dinklage is in it. Yeah,
Oh, really?
Chris Rock is the lead, and it's got like a whole ensemble of black actors that are comedians. Like I know Martin is in it. You can't watch that movie and not laugh your ass off. Death at a Funeral, can't recommend it more.
I'm writing it down, man.
You have to watch it.
How about the fact that he's got decent serious acting chops? New Jack City was amazing.
Yeah.
Wait,
What?
is he in New Jack City? Chris
Yeah,
Rock?
he isn't that the one where he's like hooked on crack?
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Oh, it's on Showtime. It's on Showtime. It's free.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
There's
Thanks.
that, and he just took over the Saw.
Yeah, he was in that. I haven't seen
You know
that.
what else he was great in? Lethal Weapon 3, was it? Where he's gonna marry Murtaugh's daughter.
I don't remember that. Dude,
He's like the annoying new partner.
Wait, Lethal Weapon 3, really?
Yeah.
Does
No, he's
anybody-
hilarious in it. He's
Does
hilarious.
anybody have any memory of anything after the second one?
Lethal Weapon 3 was okay.
They
But the
all kind of
first
got
one-
jumbled together. I
Yeah.
can't remember which one. You know,
mean, two
Jackie
was probably
Chan
the
was in
best.
it at one time, and
Yeah.
but it's
Two-
all.
It all blends together.
Yeah.
I go.
Rock was in Fargo just recently. He played a serious role in that one where he
The TV
played
show,
like
yeah.
a crime boss for a black mafia type family.
And he's going to be in the Saw series, or he is already in the Saw series, the new
Well, no,
spiral
he's-
movie.
well, he had a TV show, right? Where he wrote and produced a TV
Young
show.
Chris or
Everybody Hates Chris.
Oh,
Everybody Hates Chris. Yeah.
Yeah, no, yeah, he's oddly though. I didn't.
Pretty
I had
multifaceted dude.
many people up above him.
All
I
right, well,
it happens that way.
All right, Darcy, you're up.
Oh, okay. So my next on my list, okay,
You
of my short list.
You mentioned a bunch that were
Okay.
on mine.
Let's see. Let's see if I'm going down.
You mentioned
Okay. Well, I'm gonna have to because we're going down, right? So to number one, right?
Yes.
So I'm gonna go
I'm not.
with
I'm not. I'm just going my top 10.
oh
Well,
okay,
10 down to 1. Yeah.
right.
I haven't been doing that. I've just been going through my 10, but okay.
Okay.
Because I just did my favorites from each decade. So
Yeah. So
you know,
grab one. Just grab
yeah.
one.
So anyway, so I'm just gonna go from the list I have right now.
Yeah, that's fine.
You know,
Yeah.
so Richard Jenny.
Yeah.
I thought that guy was hilarious. I liked what he had like 3 HBO
Yeah.
what do they call those specials? Right. And I think he had like 2 movies, right? It's like 2
Throw up
movies.
Richard Jenny, Zeus.
Sure.
Yeah. No. And that poor bastard died.
Yeah, I was really sad
He
about
just
that.
died.
He
killed him.
died the day that I went to the first day of the Miami Protocol. There was a convention that I was at in Miami, which was a blast. That place was a blast. So well, getting off the point, but the first day, like everyone's there and it's for like cruise lines or whatever to show all the different wares and all the different types of things you can do on cruise lines, like so they can sell stuff. And like the first day, everyone's pretty much like, yeah, this is nice, this is great. But at around I want to say about 2 or 3 o'clock, when everything's about to close, people figure out that all the ports of call have alcohol and the different types of alcohol for the different ports. So Spain and Germany and this and that. So the next day, it's just it's a shit show. Like from like when it opens to when it closes. I mean, everyone's walking. You smell alcohol everywhere. It was funny. I thought it was hilarious.
I got to
And
check
then
him out because
Thursday almost died.
I'm just
The
not.
last day.
I remember him, but I got to check him out again because I don't I don't have a lot of recollection of him.
Yeah.
Yeah,
His
his
story
last
is-
show, I was a kid, so
Yeah.
because I want to say his last show that I saw, the HBO special or whatever, I must have been like, I don't know, 24 or 25. I don't know, and I guess things didn't go so. But I really liked his type of comedy.
He
Um,
was a smart comedian. He was one of the smarter ones. Lots of thought-provoking comedy, if I remember.
yeah, but apparently, when he shot himself, he like lived for a long time. His girlfriend came home, saw him, and then she called, the emergency, but then he died. So
Wow.
he was like,
I know to this day, comics like the ones that are still doing it, like Rogan, etc. They talk about him with great esteem. Like,
Rogan knew him, I guess, and
they all did, Zeus. They all.
But I've heard him talk about him a few times, and he says, I mean, it's a sad story. It's a Jenny he really wanted to get that show, like a sitcom, and go with it, and he never got it, and he eventually just couldn't handle what he thought was failure, even though everybody loved him. I think Rogan basically says that he's his favorite comic of all.
Yeah, I think you're right. Right.
But yeah, he was great. He was a good one, and that's another sad one. It's odd how many great comedians die tragically, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
no, they're usually sad people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
A lot of
but-
them are messed
Yeah,
up.
but
Comedy comes from tragedy.
no, but they're the best ones. They're the best ones. So
Well,
every now and then you got a guy like Seinfeld, who's got his shit together and is just doing his thing.
as far as you know,
right.
you never know.
No.
Well,
Right.
what's
right,
the
but-
saying?
But Seinfeld's not in my top 10. I mean, I don't know if
He's
anybody-
not in my top 10 either.
Yeah.
He's in mine. He's gonna be in mine.
All right. Well, Tom, you're up if you want to throw him out there.
No, I was gonna give you my number 9 because I don't want to put like certain people ahead of other people. It would just seem kind of crazy. So lower on my list is this guy, probably, and again, another smart comic, probably the best prop comic that I can
Ooh.
recall. His name is Gallagher. I don't know if you guys remember. He was big.
Yeah, I was about
Oh,
to
yeah.
mention him earlier.
Which one?
Gallagher. What do
Not
you
his
mean?
brother.
You know that both of them ran around doing the tour,
Yeah.
being each other, or whichever you
His
didn't
brother was being him. Yeah.
know? Yeah, he had a twin brother, and they would both take turns doing the shows.
Well, they were both good.
It's the whole
Yeah,
Yeah,
Smashing the watermelon.
Sledge-o-matic, I think he called it, smashing watermelons, and the hat with the fake hair coming down the back. He had all these prop, and he was a very intelligent comic and kind of like a social commentary sort of comedian. So,
I remember that.
I got nothing. I'm not a huge Gallagher fan.
is there a better
yeah.
prop comic that you can think of?
Yeah, I'm not.
Carrot
I'm-
Top. Carrot
No.
Top's pretty funny.
He's not a better prop comic.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah,
Yes, he is. Carrot Top.
Carrot Top is
Yeah,
funny
probably.
looking.
Well,
Funny looking. Especially
yeah,
after you got all that work.
I didn't break down categories of comics, and I just wrote down my 10 favorites. So if we're going with favorites, Gallagher is not sniffing my list.
He didn't make my top 37.
It's
But-
on my top
But I didn't think about him.
I think
No hate on Gallagher.
I
I got
think
some hate. I got some hate on Gallagher.
no.
Both of them.
I think if I was like a kid who got taken to a Gallagher show, I would really enjoy it.
If we were to say clean comics, maybe I'd put him in a top 10.
Well, look, yeah, at the bottom line, he's funny. I mean, that's all there is. To
No,
it.
I'll give you he's funny. I'll give you
He's funny. Everybody had to have the plastic wrap in the front rows.
Oh yeah, in the first three or four rows, something like that.
Yeah, you have to wear like hefty bags and shit.
Yeah, it was pretty funny.
All right.
All right, number 8, Zeus.
That's like my favorite Sarah Silverman. I had Eddie Murphy at 8, but I'm gonna go with my 7, which is one we mentioned, and I know that we said that he wouldn't be here without Stephen Wright, but Mitch Hedberg freaking cracks me up so much.
Put up a picture.
Okay, I got one ready. He's
Why
a
does
bizarre looking guy.
Why does he crack you up?
He had the deadpan thing going on. Where are you, Mitch? All right, I'll get him. Nice. He like I said, he had that Stephen Wright kind of delivery. That was so good.
Stephen King. Yeah. I didn't find out about. I didn't even know who he was till the day he died. A guy I worked with that was like 10 years younger than me was just broken up about it, and he's like, Mitch Hedberg died, and I was like, who's Mitch Hedberg? And like, this is back when YouTube was still kind of cool, and so I was like, this guy's amazing, and I felt like so horrible. I'm like, I didn't even learn about him until the day he died, but he's hilarious, man.
I'll give one of my favorite Mitch Hedberg jokes. Remember the McDonald's joke? He's like, because of all the McDonald's, they say, at a participating store only. And he said, I would like to open a McDonald's, but not participate. We're just going to sell spaghetti and carpet.
He's funny.
And carpet.
Right, the carpet thing.
I love he does one where he's like he goes to buy a donut and the guy asks him if he wants the receipt. He's like, no, thank you. I do not anticipate a time I'll have to prove that I bought this donut.
And the cadence of his humor was something to be talked about.
Now here's the thing. I'm looking at his picture, right, and I can't place him. But as soon as you guys say the whole thing the way he does, then I remember him because of the way he
normally wear those glasses all the time.
He normally wore the glasses. He would, and then
hair was always like down over his face.
Yeah, rice is a great food if you want to eat 3,000 of something. That was always.
Man, he was funny. He was so funny.
And he's really in that school of one-liner comics, which is a very specific genre of comedy.
It's got to be hard to do that comedy because you got to memorize. I mean, it's a bunch of like little jokes.
Yeah.
How do you because they're all like they're not connected to each other.
And there's no
How
story.
do you memorize like an hour's worth of material?
Yeah.
But those are things because most of the times when like that kind of stand-up comic, their skits or their programs or whatever their shows, it would be like a blend. So they'd have like probably about 4 or 5 different types of sessions, but it would blend those several hundred things or whatever to kind of together,
All right, let me give you a few of his lines. I used to do drugs. I still do, but I used to too.
Right, I used to too.
A waffle is like a pancake with a syrup trap. What is it? All these jokes have been pre-approved as funny by me.
I gotta tell you, I am a Mitch Hedberg. I've heard of him because comics revere him. But I'm a Mitch Hedberg virgin. I gotta say.
Oh God, you got it.
There's plenty of material out there.
Dogs are forever in a push.
But I just think it's crazy how I can't remember his face, but that cadence with the way he would say, it's. I'm like,
look,
I know who that is.
If somebody names the top 10 on their list that I've never seen, I don't know about the rest of you, like with Steve Jenny or whatever.
Richard Jenny. I'm writing it down.
Like, I'm gonna watch Mitch Hedberg now because
Mitch Hedberg is.
I'm bringing up Richard Jenny, man, and Steve Hofstede.
I've never even heard of him.
Specifically, Platypus Man was my favorite. That was
with Jenny.
Yeah. So I want to say that was his first HBO special.
I think you're right.
All right.
You're up, Jack.
Yeah.
Oh shit. Okay.
I'm just like, because we're about halfway through.
Yeah.
We're only at number 8. So
And,
I'm having
yeah.
fun with this though.
I am too.
Yeah.
I don't mind going
well,
3
no,
hours.
no, Zeus. This may have to be like one of those episode 2 things where we split up.
Two-parter.
No, man, we keep going.
Oh, we're gonna have a 4-hour podcast.
Everyone at halfway
Um,
at the end, we go get changed, come back, but it's the same night, just like Price is Right, you know.
Batman shirt now, but I'll change it and then I'll show you my second shirt.
There you go. I'll change the background.
I'll change it on camera.
Oh, don't.
Okay, I didn't really want to.
All right, number 8.
Okay, well, I'm not ranking. I've mentioned Stephen Wright, Eddie Murphy, Sam Kinison. They're all like, awesome. So I'm just going with my favorites. So since I've already got 3 from the 80s, I'll go with my 4th from the 80s, or my last one from the 80s. Or rather birthed in the 80s, and I'll go with Robin Williams.
Oh no, he was 70s, man.
Oh no, he started in the 70s, but his stand-up was really the 80s.
He wasn't making specials, but he was.
Yeah, but Zeus, I mean, I'm not limiting it to the decade.
It's
it
hard
doesn't matter
to-
anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know in
Lens.
1980 I turned 9. And so a lot of it was look backs, and then going forward, I mean, I know Mork and Mindy was the 70s, and he did the young comedians in the 70s, but the guy cranked out the stand-up specials, and then what was the thing he did with Billy Crystal, the comedic raising money for Africa, the
Comic relief.
comic relief.
Wasn't it Whoopi Goldberg and
She was in there too.
Robin Williams was in that.
Gilda
Yeah.
Radner or no?
Yeah, it was Robin Williams was in that too. But to me, this guy was absolutely a tragedy because he was fucking brilliant.
He was born to do it, man.
Yes.
So
And-
sad.
And the guy had so much energy, and I know years later we find out that he was coked up. But when you see him sober and fatter and older later on, he's doing dramatic roles. And
1 hour photo, man.
Yes.
Yeah,
Great.
yeah, yeah.
That was so
Yeah.
good.
Well, what about Dead Poets Society?
Yeah.
I mean, what about Insomnia? Like the guys, World According to Garp.
World According to Garp is one of my favorite movies of all time.
Oh,
Yeah.
get out of here. with
Love that movie.
that.
I did not understand that movie. I like that movie. Did
It
not
was
understand
just,
it
was-
because when I saw it, when I was a kid, so I just didn't get it.
I
What was
loved it.
was it Survivors was one?
You're missing a huge one.
Moscow on the Hudson was one. I mean,
What? The biggest one was Popeye, right? No?
Popeye was freaking
Popeye was
great.
big. No, what about Mrs. Doubtfire? That was the biggest.
Oh yeah, man, I love that movie.
But no, but
You guys are sleeping on one that he got the Oscar for, which is
Good
Goodwill.
Morning Vietnam.
No, Goodwill Hunting.
Oh, Good Morning Vietnam. Yeah.
Oh, good. Yeah, Good Morning Vietnam was great.
Nice.
Goodwill Hunting.
My
Good
favorite
Will
role for him was Goodwill Hunting. And then
No.
I know
Yeah.
you're mocking me for World According to Garp, but I can't see how you can feel that way. That movie, I thought that movie was.
No. Robin Williams, like Mork was such like a sensitive little child character, really. Like he comes out of an egg, he's like a little kid.
Well, yeah, because they aged
and-
backwards.
And Robin Williams kind of captured that weepy-eyed little boy thing and carried it through his entire career, like as an actor.
Oh, and there's a sense
but
of
I'm
kindness
talking
that you
about-
get from him.
I'm talking about his timing, his stand-up.
Oh yeah, Jumanji. Oh,
Well, and he was also another rare form of comedy is the improv. I mean, that's his background, man.
Yeah.
Yep, he could wing it. He could wing it.
I appreciate him.
Darcy, he can wing it like nobody I've ever
Yeah.
seen.
He would.
Yeah.
Well, I think he was bipolar, which
Yeah, well,
he went into his mania. I think he became comfortable with his mania and he used it. But he was also, I mean, the guy was brilliant. I mean, like a bright guy, and you get a sense of kindness out of him.
and what wasn't he? Yeah, the weepy eye, like he was a sensitive fucking guy.
Yeah,
I wouldn't say
it-
just brilliant. He was a genius.
Yeah.
He's a
Comic
genius.
genius. Yeah, but
He was a
Yeah.
student of Jonathan Winters,
Yeah,
especially from the improv.
Yeah.
point of
Jonathan
view.
Winters was on Mork and Mindy, remember?
he was. Yeah,
And he was. I love
loved
Jonathan
Winters,
Winters.
man.
Is a dark horse I didn't even think about. I
If-
love Jonathan Winters.
Well, Jonathan Winters, to their credit, did crack the top 50 for Rolling Stone magazine.
Good for them. Yeah, I did. I
if
do
you
remember that.
if you look at some old like Johnny Carson's or these like shows where Robin Williams was on, the only time I would see him get out of his like manic phase was when Winters was on with him. He had such reverence for him. Like he would
Yeah.
shut up like when Winters was on. Like
Yeah.
Williams would like tone it down
Right.
with Winters.
Yeah.
Pretty
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah, when on Facebook, this is kind of cheesy, but when I found out he died, that day I put the world just got a little less funny because that one hit me hard. I mean,
Yeah, and wasn't he a suicide as well?
hung himself.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
the thing is
Yeah, that hit me the same way when Steve Jobs died.
he
Oh,
Even though it's not a big deal to you guys.
Yeah,
To me,
Steve
it was
Jobs
Yeah,
is-
it was a big
Oh,
deal. That was a big deal.
comedian. But yeah, it was just like he was such a huge part of our lives from very young. I mean, Mork and Mindy was one of my favorite shows. Not to mention, I thought Pam Dauber was so hot.
You know her name. Wow.
Yeah.
Dauber, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, she
wanted
was
to move to
hot.
Boulder, Colorado.
Zeus.
Oh, that's right.
Zeus, I have to agree with you wholeheartedly. When we were growing up, it was Mork and it was the Fonz. Same network, back to back. That was it.
Happy Days spit out a lot
You know,
of
to this day,
Oh,
I've still never
no, but-
seen the Fonz jump the
Shark.
shark. Yeah.
I
Wait,
think-
was it
Yeah, I
Mork
had
and
to-
Mindy?
My bedtime
Wait,
was at
wait.
8:30.
But no, my point, Zeus, though, was like the Fonz ended. He was finite.
Yeah.
Robin Williams kept going.
Wasn't Mork and Mindy a spinoff of something else?
it was
Yeah, it was, and I can't think of what it was.
Was it Happy Days?
It was Happy Days.
Mork appeared on Happy Days as an alien.
Right. He stopped the Fonz. He did something
They
like
had
that.
a battle.
The Fonz
Yeah.
didn't do anything.
Yeah, the Fonz
That's
battled him.
psycho. Wow, I forgot about that.
Nanu.
No.
Yeah, he was a brilliant one, man. That was a sad day.
Yeah.
Right up there with Phil Hartman when Phil Hartman died.
Oh,
Oh
geez.
man, that was a shock.
That still
not
pisses
a-
me off, man. It
not-
pisses me
yeah.
off for all this funny stuff we did not get from him.
94.
Yeah,
That was in
God.
94.
And I was actually going to mention when you were talking about Eddie Murphy and Joe Piscopo, I want to say Phil Hartman was on back then too. He was like the longest running cast
think
member of anybody else.
No.
He wasn't
not
on
that much.
contemporaneously.
No.
He came.
No.
He's like
yeah, it
every
was
once
not-
in a while kind of guy.
Hartman
No,
came out of
no,
Second
no.
City, I think. Didn't he? Or the Groundlings?
Yeah.
I think he came out of the Groundlings.
Well, Zeus, to put it in perspective, when Eddie Murphy was on, Joe Piscopo was Frank Sinatra.
Oh yeah,
And
he was great.
And-
we wouldn't have done that with
and
Phil Hartman.
no. But when Phil Hartman was on, Phil Hartman was Frank Sinatra. Like, I mean, it was different cast, no doubt about it.
Freaking Eddie Murphy and just going back to them for 1 second. Do you remember when he was playing Stevie Wonder and
Yeah, of course.
and Joe Piscopo was Frank Sinatra and they did Ebony and Ivory?
Yeah.
He's
Oh,
like,
yeah.
you're blind as a bat and I am white.
Right. Of course. That's
Didn't
like
he?
fun.
Didn't he do a Zuzu commercials or something like that?
I think so, yes.
I don't
He was
know.
like Joe Azuzu.
No, that
or-
was Joe
No.
Zuzu. No,
That's
that's
No.
Joe Azuzu.
No.
But he
Joe-
did.
No.
He did
I want to see that though.
He
I
did.
wanna-
John- He did.
he did
John-
news radio for a long time.
Oh,
Hartman,
Phil Hartman.
yeah.
Phil Hartman.
He was also on Pee Wee's Playhouse with
Yep.
Larry Fishburne
Yeah.
was on there too. Larry Fishburne. But yeah, no, Phil Hartman, but I don't know why we didn't
Guys.
make it on there.
Well, he wasn't really a stand-up.
Well,
he was
he's not a stand-up.
a performer.
He wasn't a stand-up comedian.
All right.
We should have
gonna-
did top five
Who's
because this is gonna
Well,
go.
we're gonna plow
Yeah.
ahead here. We're gonna plow ahead. So number 8, and I won't spend much time on him, but I've seen him live a couple times. Mike Berbiglia. I don't know if you guys ever heard of this guy.
Not in my top 10. Never heard.
Yeah, he's
Pull up a
he's
picture of that.
he's kind of got a different. His style is more like storytelling. So like if he has this great one, you can probably get it on Netflix called My Girlfriend's Boyfriend, and and he did another one called Sleepwalk with Me, but
Yeah, he's
Anyway,
got a notorious he sleepwalks.
he
So bad.
sleepwalks. Yeah, he went out of like a 3rd-story window in the hospital, but he's got this
Oh, wow.
style where if you watch his specials, it's the exact opposite of like a one-liner. Like he tells a story and it's got multiple chapters and it's got little arcs in it, and then it's got like one big arc going over, and it's
Oh, so it comes together kind of like Seinfeld?
yeah. And it's like it's funny during it, but then he tells like kind of a gigantic story. It takes him like an hour. But anyway, real creative, different kind of style, really gifted performer. Does a lot of physical comedy in his storytelling. But anyway,
What's the guy look like?
I'm pulling him up right now.
Birbiglia.
I got him.
I think he's kind of a goofball. He's been like a guest star on other things.
I've seen him.
Yeah,
Looks familiar.
He's
I don't even
funny.
recognize
He
him.
has to he talks about how his sleepwalking was so bad that he has to like put himself in a sleeping bag.
Yeah, he has to like tie himself up when he
Yeah.
sleeps.
Man, he sounds like one of those people that take that what's that sleeping drug?
Ambien.
What is it? What is it?
Ambien.
Ambien? Yeah. A guy that I knew, he was taking that. He ended up going out driving. He lived in he lived in Weehawken. Lived in Weehawken. And he went out driving and he got into an accident. He was in a coma for 2 months and then he died. It was
Wow.
really, yeah.
Jeez.
All
Yeah,
right.
but he was having a problem with that Ambien. Yeah.
Who's
He
up next?
make
I'm
yeah.
sorry.
Who's next? Darcy's next.
Oh, okay. So I got all screwed up because I said the one I liked least that, because I guess it probably should have been Steve Hofstede, but anyway, so let's just say Steve Hofstede. I like him because he does the whole heckling thing,
Yeah.
and he's funny, and he's quick on his feet, and I just think it's hilarious, and I can spend a couple of hours watching stuff.
Mhm. Right. Yeah.
Can you bring up a picture?
I'm pulling him up right now.
Darcy, I've watched some of his videos where the hecklers go at him.
Yeah, and I follow him on
And you're
on
right.
Twitter.
He's quick-witted. He can handle it. He can handle it, and I like that about him.
Yeah, he handles drunks very well, and he's not mean, and he's I like the way he does it.
Yeah.
I'm pulling him up.
A lot of times, like chicks will go at him, and he just fucking undresses them. Really, I mean, not that way.
I do not know anything about this guy.
No, he's kind of jacked too.
Yeah, no, he's Darcy's right. He's got a big internet presence. He's big on YouTube.
I'm gonna have to check him out.
Yeah, he's got his own YouTube channel. I know that, and a lot of his shit is on there.
I got him checked off here.
Yeah, I gotta check him out.
Maybe we can get him as a guest.
Yeah, maybe.
All right, Tom, you're up, buddy.
All right, I'm going to give you one. At first, you were like limiting this to the 70s and later, but once you opened it up, I got to go and give you like an all-time, probably historic comedian, Bob Hope.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Like,
Interesting.
top 10. This is a guy. I mean, when you talk about the breadth of the catalog, Zeus, I mean, Bob Hope. I mean, all those movies, all the stand-ups, the what do you call when the USO tours that he would do with the military, all
was
the
a good
specials,
guy.
the Christmas specials.
He seems
Carson.
like a good guy too.
He just worked.
Yeah.
He worked for decades.
Him,
Worked
George
and worked.
Burns, and George
And,
Burns.
Yeah, George Burns. And it's a shame that I think a lot of the kids that are, the younger kids now, I don't think they'll even know who he is.
And again,
Yeah, I mean, well, that's a whole. I call that kind of, it's like that easy laughter kind of,
Yeah.
it's like Jack Benny. It's,
Jack Benny is one of my
you
favorites
know,
of all time as
it's
well.
that kind of stuff. And a lot of the younger people, I mean, if you sit down and and you watch it, I guess if you have the patience for it, yeah, you can enjoy it. But
Darcy,
it's what
Darcy, that kind of observational comedy that he's talking about, though, that's what guys like Jerry Seinfeld grew up watching.
Yeah.
And
yeah, but it's definitely
and he's dating.
modern spin on it, and
Well, I still think Seinfeld would be like, the show would not have been what it was because he's dated. You watch Seinfeld specials, like he is like what you're talking about, easy laughing, and not really like edgy at all.
But
I think Seinfeld the show without Larry David would have been nothing, because Larry David was the dark edge. Like he was
Wait, how did we get to Seinfeld from?
because we're talking about like
The
guys
type
that
of
are
comedy.
easy laughter and that are observational comedy. Like, you know what I mean? Like
I
Bob.
don't know
Like,
if Bob Hope was so much that I don't see a stark comparison between Seinfeld and Bob Hope. I mean,
okay.
it's probably there.
I don't mean Bob. I mean Bob Newhart.
Oh, Newhart. Okay. Yeah, Newhart was another great one. But Bob Hope he was just so witty, and the laugh, like the iconic voice and the laugh.
And,
But,
and Hope was like a total entertainer. I mean, he did it all.
Yeah.
I mean, he did everything.
yeah, dancing, acting, everything.
Oh,
But
yeah.
to Darcy's point, I would agree. I mean, I love Bob Hope, but it's so out of time now. Like it's you almost have to have the context to get, like, it takes some work, right? It's not.
I mean
It's
when
still funny. If you watch it today, it would still be funny.
I think for
and the only reason why like Bob Hope, I put him back with that. He's like a part of that like Rat Pack era kind of thing. And was he in the Cannonball Run? I can't remember.
no, he actually predates the Rat Pack
Okay.
a little bit, but
Yeah, he's probably a little. He was with Bing Crosby.
but I remember watching golf events and stuff with him. Watching with my grandfather.
he hosted the Oscars like 20 straight years or something.
Oh.
Bob Hope did.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did.
All right, Zeus, number 7.
I'm gonna give you guys one that you guys are probably not gonna agree with, but I think the guy's brilliant. I'm going up a little, and that is gonna be Eddie Izzard.
Oh yeah,
Guy is amazing,
I'm
and I have some special pictures for you guys.
Okay,
he's on
he's
my
a British
honorable
guy,
mention.
right? Is he British?
He's British, yeah, and he's done a lot of acting too.
Yeah, he's hilarious.
He's definitely on honorable mention.
He's like my number 4 or 5. And one of the reasons is probably I don't know if I've mentioned it before. Jack says I did, but I don't think I have. I've met him a couple times, hung out with him. Mike met him with me, and he's
great.
Back to all of our talk when we were talking about transgender stuff and all. He is actually he's one of the ones where I can actually say that he's got nothing wrong with him. He just has this affinity.
He's not the guy that did Dame Edna, is he?
Mm-mm.
No, Dame Edna is probably predates him.
Okay.
But Izzard,
Mike, and
I think I'm wearing the same shirt. That's amazing. I think
Mike, what are you doing with the same shirt?
but Izzard,
mean face.
the thing is, Izzard is
Hey,
more,
who's that weirdo to the right?
Yeah, right.
Oh, man.
The handsome one or the one that's dressed like a woman?
But no, Izzard, you got to send me that picture. I don't know if I still have that, man.
Wait a minute.
Well,
I can't believe we're seeing Mike without the beard. Dana's gonna watch this now. I'm gonna tell her.
Oh, hold on. I got another one here.
But the thing, isn't Izzard more of a transvestite than a transgender? Like
Yeah, I guess transvestite. I don't want
he's
to.
definitely male. He just likes wearing women's clothes.
Transvestite's no longer the proper nomenclature, dude.
But he doesn't.
what is it? What is it
He doesn't
now?
identify as
Now it's
female.
transgender.
There's Jason with him.
Nice.
Now it's non-binary, non-cis or something.
No, I think he even refers to himself as like a cross-dresser.
Yeah.
Here's the interesting thing. So, Mike, was he?
He's been on Rogan too. I know that.
Yeah, he was great on Rogan. Mike, was he dressed as a female for our show?
Yes. He wore both. He came out, he wore a blue suit, and then he changed, so like halfway through.
He's interesting. My sister,
but he had stiletto boots on. I remember that, even when he was dressed as a male.
Little That's a skill. That's a skill.
Little history. So my sister did his hair and makeup for the show, but the interesting thing about it is, like with Mike's, he came out dressed as a guy for the show, but before he would see anybody back in the green room, because we spent like hour and a half back just talking and all that, but before he'll see anybody, he has to get back. He got into his female clothes.
That was one of the few comedy shows, like when it was over, like my head hurt. Like the guy is so freaking smart, and so he packs so much into every line.
Really?
You're like, as soon as you're figuring something out, he's like on to the next thing. It was like a challenge.
But it's more than that, because he's the king of callbacks or queen of callbacks, whichever. But he'll be talking about something at the beginning and you forget about it, and then he pulls it back later. I think he did a lot of the chicken jokes when we were there, and he just all of a sudden he'd bring back the chicken from like 30 minutes earlier. But
he's great, and he basically is clean. I mean, he has some profanity, but he doesn't do anything totally wacky.
The thing though, he is straight as a board.
He's an absurdist.
Yeah, he's all about women, not gay at all, and he's brilliant. He speaks like 7 languages. When he does his tours, he goes through Europe and does them in all the different languages, and he'll talk about it, how it's like it's hard to do because different pronouns and different adjectives.
He ran 24 marathons in 24 days.
Yeah, he got rhabdo. He did it so much.
No, he's cool, man.
And he was such a nice guy. And the funny thing about the
I'll check him out. Are there specials?
Yeah.
Okay.
Look up Eddie Izzard Death Star. It's one of the funniest things you'll ever hear.
Okay, cool.
But the last thing I'll say, this is a quirky thing. The cross-dressing, not so much, doesn't really, freak me out, because you know what about him? It's his thing. But the quirky thing about him is he won't let anybody take pictures of him with their camera. He has to take the selfie. Remember, Mike?
Yep.
So he wants
to frame it.
Do it, but he will not let you take a picture of him with your phone. It's just an odd quirk, but yeah, he's a real nice guy. His mom was a nurse. He's got all these really great stories.
Yeah, but he gave you the pictures.
Yeah. He does it with your phone, but he doesn't want you to take it.
Okay.
He wants to take it.
Yeah.
I get it.
It's just an interesting quirk. But yeah, good guy.
You're up, Jack.
Well, let's see. Shit, I already went through 4. I gotta go classics. Darcy mentioned a couple of these guys. I gotta go Richard Pryor. He's in my top 10. Easy.
I didn't even rank him because he's just the top. Like, I couldn't even put him on. It's like him and then everyone.
Well, a lot of
me personally,
guys, I want to say there's a handful of guys. It's like, okay, it's like, who's the best in DC Comics? And it's like, it's like they're all Superman.
Right. Yeah, no, it's all right. It's so easy to say Pryor, but he had to get some respect on this podcast.
All right, here. Yeah. Hold on.
He was coming later. I was gonna.
Oh no, that's not him.
What was that?
All right. Yeah. Wait a minute.
Richard Pryor running down the street.
Wait a minute. Who's the comedian here? I think it's Zeus. That's so funny. You were saving that. You were saving that. You were. All right. Well, all right. I mean, Pryor's
That was racist.
No, it wasn't.
Oh, Jesus.
That was
Terrible.
immolationist.
Immolation.
All right.
Here's the Richard Pryor one.
Nothing wrong with setting yourself on fire while freebasing.
He made a joke of it. He made a joke of it. So
He did make a joke of it. He did.
Yep,
Make
he was like, "What's this?" You know, lights a match.
yeah.
And
And
Richard Pryor running down the street.
there's my Richard Pryor picture that I got.
that's another. Well, where's Henry Cavill? That's the only thing that's missing. Yeah.
I'm sorry. I you got me all.
I'm sorry.
For a
I'm
second.
sorry. No, Pryor's another guy. Right there, you see him with
Christopher Reeves.
the guy in blue tights there. Speaking of iconic DC characters, and
Yeah.
Pryor was another guy though whose childhood was fucking impossibly
Yes.
hard.
You grew up in like a whorehouse, I think.
Yeah. Oh, he was raped. He was fucking abused. I mean, and to channel that shit into Live at the Sunset Strip,
Here's just
just unbelievable. And then to go mainstream and do shit like Toy Story and Superman 3 and teaming up with Gene
There's
Wilder.
millions.
Teaming-
Which way is up?
Well, what about teaming up with Gene Wilder, another brilliant.
Yeah.
did you
Silver
know?
Street.
Did you know that he was actually
Yeah.
supposed to be the Cleavon Little character in Blazing Saddles?
Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
But he was it was all the drugs and all at that time. I did just want to make a callback to one person. Just
But they're gonna do the biopic picture of Richard Pryor at some point. Somebody's gonna do it.
Yeah, you got to put him up there.
there's another reason why I like Sarah Silverman. That was all with the Sarah Silverman.
Yeah.
No, Richard
Yeah,
Pryor.
we know you're immature. Like everybody gets that.
She's smoking.
It was Richard Pryor.
So-
Oh.
Wow.
Wow.
All right. Well, he
He
was
just
all right.
stopped my self-immolation picture. Yeah, and what let's see, him in his Gene Wilder movies.
yeah.
If you could see what I no, was it no, it wasn't if you could see what I hear, it was
Oh, that's the third one. He did like 3 of them. He did Silver Streak.
Silver Street.
He did what was it called when they're in jail?
They're crazy.
Stir
Crazy.
Crazy. Yeah,
And-
that was a good
And
one.
then he did See No Evil, Hear No Evil. That was the one with the deaf and the blind.
That's it.
Which, by the way, is in the category of movies that they'll never make again.
Exactly. Oh, you think they'll make Blazing Saddles again?
Not,
It's already made, man. It's already made.
yeah.
That's a great movie, Blazing Saddles. God.
Yeah, that remake will go over the way the remake of Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory went over.
Oh, that was horrible.
Yeah. Why did they even try remaking
I don't
that?
know.
Gene Wilder.
Yeah, see, what I was hoping is that it wasn't a remake. I thought it was going to be like the part after they go through the,
Well, there
the
was a
ceiling.
There was a sequel where they did
Charlie in the Glass Elevator, man.
Yeah, that was horrific. Yeah, no, Richard Pryor is again. He has a body of work. He was a Oh shit! You know what movie you guys didn't mention is The Toy with Jackie Gleason.
No, you mentioned
Mm.
God, that movie was good.
No, I mentioned it, but what about when he teamed up with Eddie Murphy and they did Harlem Nights? That's a fucking
Oh
That's
man,
right. That was probably his last movie.
Yeah, that
I'm
was
writing that
hilarious.
down.
I think he died shortly after that. But well, and the interest. I mean, The Toy is another one that they're never going to make again. How many times?
oh my god, there's no way. There's no way. What about Brewster's Millions? Remember that shit?
Oh yeah, yeah.
The Toy was a really racist movie. Like it took place in Louisiana. It was so racist.
Right.
That was
Yeah.
a bad one.
And you had who was it? Ned Beatty was in that, right? The guy who played Otis.
He just died.
Yeah,
No.
he died last week
He was also the catcher in
in the rye.
no, I was gonna make a really bad joke.
Catcher in Deliverance. Oh,
Yes, that's
Yeah.
it.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh,
Squeal like
Yeah.
a pig.
Yeah.
And he was in Homicide.
Yeah, by the way, Darcy, good casting. Ned Beatty as Holden Caulfield in Catcher in the Rye would have been an Oscar performance for the ages.
That's like Mickey Rooney, and what was the Mickey Rooney movie where he's a mentally challenged guy? 'Cause
Oh,
we're not allowed to use that word anymore.
I don't know. It's the word. The word
Mickey Rooney.
something else.
Mickey
What do you call
Rooney.
it?
I hate all the words that I can't. It's like that's what we say, and it's like when you're explaining like a game that you played when you were a kid. It's like, oh, we called it that, and then everyone goes, oh my god.
Oh,
That's
remember
what it
that?
was called.
Remember that game where we used to throw the football and whoever got it?
That's what I'm talking about. It was
Yeah.
like at my boy's
Here's
birthday
kill
party.
the quarterback.
He's throwing this thing, and I was like, oh, that reminds me of this game we used to play, smear the, and everyone's like, oh my god. I thought,
And no
I
one
was like,
intended.
oh
Yeah,
no,
there was no
oh.
hatred behind it, but yeah, it's
Well,
just
that was all about kids being able to throw out some cuss words when their parents weren't around. I mean, that's what we were doing. All right, who's next?
I think I'm up. I'm gonna skip. 7 was my Kinnison, so I'll go to 6. And this is because this guy just is brave, and I think he cracks me up, and he just doesn't give a shit. Is Ricky Gervais, and I
Yeah.
love.
Oh, yeah.
love hearing him.
Great one.
Yeah.
Mike,
Not playlist, but yeah, I'm.
Mike, I got him honorable mention because of more because of what he did off the stage with his, but his stand-up is fucking excellent.
Yeah,
I don't know, man. I love him in that office where
The Office.
he is truly oblivious. I mean, I just love it. I'm like, it's
The
like,
interesting thing though is the American
he's-
Office didn't steal from it. Like it was just
It
loose
did.
space, and they did a great job with it. Steve Carrell was perfect.
Well, going full circle here, like comedians that do the weepy-eyed guy, you got Robin Williams, Ricky Gervais, and Steve Carell, who have made like a career in dramatic acting because they're self-deprecating guys.
I
yeah.
love that in an actor. Yeah.
And they know how to cry and make you cry as much as they know how to laugh and make you laugh. And like they just do it. But going back to pure comedy, like I'm with Mike here. Like Ricky Gervais was right up there for me, but I credit him more with his brilliant mind and his creativity in the arts and like the production and the writing.
Then straight stand up. Yeah.
Great stand-up. I mean, like the guy can hold his own with any of these comedians turned TV stars. I mean, probably blow them out of the water, frankly.
Did you see the extras?
Oh yeah,
Holy cow, that's a great series.
it's a
Yeah.
great series.
He's
What about-
him and like Eddie Izzard. I put them both in kind of that Robin Williams frenetic energy.
yeah.
Can just bounce all over the place. You get the feeling that they just wrote all their jokes down and walked out, and this is what they were going to talk about tonight. Like it felt very
Well,
organic.
Mike, go ahead. Well, it's your guy. It's your floor.
No, I didn't. Like I said, I was wanting just to speed up a little bit just to get through our list. But like I said, I really like how he's one of the. I don't know how he's figured it out, but he's one of the few comedians we have today, like with Jerry Seinfeld and Chris Rock, and a lot of these guys complain where they just won't play colleges or they feel like they can't say certain things. Gervais is just in his own league. Like he just doesn't care and he doesn't get canceled and he's just doing his own thing. It's remarkable. I don't know how he balances that.
He got canceled by the Golden Globes because he gave the greatest intro ever to an award ceremony.
It's what you want out of a stand-up comedian. It's what you want out of a comedian,
Yeah.
right? He's fearless. It's
There's
just
got to be that irreverence. Otherwise, I mean, what's the point?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he'll go down as one of the best.
yeah, he's great.
He's a master. I mean, no doubt.
one guy that was
There he
definitely
is.
going to be big. I mean, he was already big, but Bernie Mac.
Oh
He
yeah,
wasn't on my list. I was just
Yeah.
thinking of him.
yeah.
Man,
No.
that show, I love that show.
Oh, Bernie
And
Mac.
what was that called?
Bernie Mac show.
Bernie Mac show.
Oh, okay.
I can see how you could forget that.
He was a real force, man. Like you just had to watch him. Like you just had to watch him when he was on the screen. He was just a force.
So
You guys watch?
Darcy, I had a list of about 19, and Bernie Mac was on there. Like, I mean, he blew my mind, man. I remember Spike Lee did a movie I think called The Kings of Comedy.
yeah.
And the
With
last,
him, Cedric the Entertainer.
and the guy who does Family Feud, I can't think of his name.
Steve Harvey. Don't like him.
Steve Harvey. Yeah, but Steve Harvey was good on that.
Harvey's good.
Steve Harvey was good in that movie. There's no doubt about it.
He gives me this
But Bernie Mac,
self-involved thing that I can't get past.
but he's doing a game show host thing though. I mean, Bernie Mac was like the highlight of that movie for me. Like Cedric.
Plus, it was the '90s, so everyone was wearing the big suits.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah.
Big '90s suits with like the shoulders.
It's a really good movie because when it came out, I didn't know what I was in for.
I guess I'll have to watch it. I don't know.
Yeah, it's just three great comedians doing their act. I mean,
So who's up next?
I think me.
Tom.
So I'll give you another one that I bet is not on your list. Larry the Cable Guy.
Wow.
All right,
Oh.
who's up next?
I did not have him.
I didn't have him either, but I respect them.
He's one of, and talk about politically incorrect comedy. It's one of those guys you just laugh in spite of yourself.
He is bright, and I've seen him in interviews where he's not doing his Larry the Cable Guy thing, and he's actually he talks about how he did that one time, and they were like, "You got to make that your thing."
It's
and
very weird to see if you go back and watch the old videos of him doing stand up before he was Larry the Cable Guy. It's really off-putting because it's like that shouldn't even be him. But
He used to do this thing. This was back in the I want to say it's the late '80s, early '90s in Baltimore on 98 Rock. There was like a morning show,
yes, the call-in, yeah.
and he would call in.
That's where I
and
first
thought
heard
it was
of
a
him.
real dude,
Cable
and
guy.
my vision of him was like this real little, like 5'2" swamp rat guy, right? I didn't even know he was a comedian. I thought he was like an actual. He totally had me fooled, but yeah, they would just call him
remember
once
that.
in a while and talk to him.
That's fun.
So
I guess he
who's
was
up
getting
next,
paid.
Uh-oh.
Wait a minute.
That time for Jack. We better speed it up.
So you know what I'm
Oh,
thinking?
wait.
I'm thinking. Why don't we go rapid, Zeus, where you just give your final
Well,
5 and
Mike,
we all go through.
Let me go last
let
for
me-
that because I want to do rapid fire on my designated hitter.
wait, time out. Boys,
Yeah.
it's obviously getting late, but just for the record,
It's getting
Oh, my
early.
goodness.
just for the record, this podcast has got to have been going on now for
An hour and 30 minutes.
It's been
Yeah.
good though.
well over an hour.
And we're on number 7.
But we're like right there.
All right.
Right.
wait, do
We're
we-
almost over.
So do we just want to rattle through without a lot of commentary just for the sake of doing it? I mean,
I'll give you my top 2 because I've used up all my top 10 somehow. My top 3 that are left. Bill Hicks.
Oh yeah.
The only modern one that I have on this list besides Sarah Silverman is Louis C.K., who
Yep.
is the modern day version of my number 1, which is probably everybody's number 1. On the count of 3, let's all say who the number 1 comedian
no idea.
David Chappelle.
George
Dave
Carlin?
Chappelle.
Oh, Harlan was my
George
5.
Carlin. No,
George Carlin?
Carlin was your
George
5?
Carlin.
You're fucking
No.
fired from the podcast.
Steve Martin was my
Steve
number 1.
Martin?
Steve Martin.
Number 1?
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
All
Steve
right,
Martin
so
was huge.
all right.
Let's
Zeus,
go through. What's yours,
All right.
Jack?
What
Go
I
down the
got
list.
what I got left, I got no order. I've got 4 current guys, believe it or not. I've got Dave Chappelle, who I think is probably the best in the game right now.
Absolutely.
I've got Louis C.K. I've got Sebastian Maniscalco.
That's
I've
just
got
because he's Italian.
I've got Bill Burr,
Yeah.
and I've got
I like Bill Burr.
and I got George Carlin.
See, George Carlin is my number 1. Bill Burr, I love him, but I just want more of a catalog out of him. And like,
He's
my
got,
favorite
dude.
thing he ever did.
He's got a ton of specials. He's been doing it for like 20 plus years.
My favorite thing he ever did was when he was on the Opie and Anthony comedy tour or whatever it was, and the Philly audience was like just being disruptive, and he just fucking destroyed Philly. He just called them pieces of shit. He's like, Joe Frazier's from here, and you got a picture of a fucking movie boxer or a statue of a boxer from a movie. He shredded Philly. It just like 20 minutes straight of just fucking.
And they probably loved it.
Yeah.
Yeah, they shut up and they were just like awestruck.
But dude,
he's always talk about it as like one of the biggest moments ever in comedy.
Yeah, but if you're looking for content, it's out there.
No, I'm just saying I haven't.
I will say with Burr, his bit on comedians and cars getting coffee was fantastic. And then if you just like comedy, if you can watch comedians and cars getting coffee, and I'm not even a huge Seinfeld fan, but if you're just interested in the art of comedy, is one of the best shows to watch. It's great. They just get into the nooks and crannies of
what is that show?
Comedians and cars getting coffee.
Yeah.
The episodes are only like 15 or 20 minutes long.
Yeah.
Jerry Seinfeld picks a car that he feels is inspired by the comedian. He goes to pick him up. Seinfeld drives, and they just talk about comedy for like 20 minutes.
Kind of like
he had Eddie Murphy on there for like an hour, but
It's still long. It's on Crackle. Right?
Cars.
it's on Netflix too.
Okay.
Seinfeld has all these like super cool cars, kind of like Jay Leno, and he like every show that they do it, they have.
No
they're
one's
not
like Jay
his.
Leno.
They borrow the cars. But
Yeah, but
anyway,
it's like
that's if you love what
he like drives Porsches, Maybachs, all
crazy cars.
Well, he's loaded. He's loaded.
Yeah.
So, am I up? Or you? Did you already go, Jack? To finish yours?
I did.
So rounding out my top five, I had Carlin at 5, Hicks at 4, Chappelle at 3, Dangerfield at 2, just because Dangerfield was like the first comedian that I got into when I was a kid. And Don Rickles at number 1, man. Like I'm a Don Rickles guy.
He was on my longer list
all day. And then honorable mention, I've got Burr and Shandling, Gary Shandling.
Gary Shandling, freaking one of my favorite opening songs to a show ever was
Gary Shandling Show.
The Gary Show, the opening theme, The Gary Show.
Talk about another guy that like tragic when he died. I mean, he didn't take himself out or anything, but he had a lot more to do before he died.
He had a heart attack, right?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah, or a stroke, something like that.
Yeah. So, who's next?
I guess it's me. And all I had were my. I guess they were like, I already mentioned David Chappelle, but Red Fox, Richard Pryor, and Eddie Murphy, and to me they're all
See,
Red Fox, man.
Red Fox was a one-liner guy way before all the others too.
No, he was filthy.
He was
awesome.
Yeah, because when I listened to my first Red Fox album, I was like, I mean, he made Eddie Murphy seem like Queen.
My friend's dad had he was a big Beatles fan. He had a lot of Beatles albums, but he also had a lot of Red Fox albums. And after his parents would go to sleep and I was spending the night at his house, we'd be in the basement, we'd listen to those albums, man. And we were just like,
right.
He was the first person to use the N-word on TV on 8 o'clock. Yeah. Red Fox. His stand-up. Again, he's one that I like for his other body of work. Sanford and Son will never be made again. If they did, it'd be so clean. There was a lot of racist words at least, but he was almost counter racism with him.
I think it was like Archie Bunker too.
Yeah, he was. That's. I would say he was basically. Yeah, he was Archie Bunker. He had his chair that he sat in.
Yeah.
He was great. Coming to you, Wheezy.
Yeah.
I think every old
No,
man
listen-
has a
No,
chair.
It
no,
wasn't
no,
Weezy, it was
no.
Elizabeth.
So what's your
Elizabeth.
chair,
Elizabeth.
Jack?
Weezy was the Jeffersons.
Right. Wheezy, right.
I am a
Elizabeth, I'm
boob.
coming to join you.
They don't all look the same, Zeus. Come on.
Wow.
Man, you totally shocked Jack. He's just stuck. It's like you really.
Or did
He was like,
it really bother him that much?
he's like WTF
There he goes.
all the way. All right.
Wow. Yeah, you know why Jack's making that face? Because now he's got to edit that out.
No, I will not. No, I will
Wow,
not.
Tom.
Good for you, Tom. Good for you.
All right. Wow.
I've got one last thing before I know we got to go to Tom. But what do you guys think about Cosby's legacy?
I'm gonna go on.
I was going to mention his name.
Okay, sorry. Let's go to Tom. Sorry.
All right. Does Darcy have more? Or was that
No, that was
No, that was
use
that
up
was
all
it,
of
that was
yours?
it. Yeah.
So I'll give you 5 more. Roseanne, I want to stick in there.
Very good.
Probably one of my favorite female comedians.
I'll give you that.
Bill Cosby. Now
No.
talking about the records, listening to the records, the Bill Cosby record, like way back. Was
Himself.
Himself was a
Himself was-
masterpiece.
Classic, man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
when he was
himself-
doing the thing about Noah's Ark and building the
Oh man, we're making a.
cubits.
What is it? What was that whole thing? We're making a. Oh
That
man,
is
what was it?
It was chocolate.
Right, making the chocolate cake.
Yeah,
Right,
great.
yeah, man, that was
Give us-
hilarious.
That was
It's got eggs. It's got milk. This is a nutritious breakfast.
Gotta be, right.
He's talking
My
about
wife comes
Oh,
down.
his
All the
wife-
kids are eating cake.
His wife
I swear her
coming
skull
downstairs.
opened up.
and her lips went over her head.
It's fantastic.
How
I
about
will say, the one thing that other comedians talk about Cosby is he could come up with 45 minutes in an hour like that. Like he was. If you hear other comedians talk about him, they're just like
Mostly
amazed how he could come up with material.
Mostly he was really, really, really smart.
Yeah.
he one of my favorite bits in himself is maybe, I hate to give him credit because he's a piece of shit, but the
Great stand-up.
himself is maybe one of the best albums ever. It's up there with like Raw and what's the other Eddie Murphy one? Because Eddie Murphy has 2 of the top.
Hilarious.
Carson on Campus.
But also his delivery in himself and the way it's directed. If you watch the video of it, like the
With
actual,
the colors in the background.
oh my god, it's so fucking iconic.
But how about one of my favorites is he's talking about the little kid is in the kitchen and he's building this elaborate stairway to get up to the cookies. And then he gets the cookie out of the jar and dad walks in. And he's, "What are you doing?" And the kid goes, "I got a cookie for you."
It's just so true.
But I don't want a cookie. Can I have it?
What about when he's at the dentist's office? That was the best.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I
My last 3, I'll throw
Yes.
out.
Sorry, Tom. Yep.
Where was I? So Seinfeld is in my top 3. Dangerfield, and then
honorable mention for both.
Wait, who? And then who?
Dangerfield.
Steve Martin. Dangerfield
Martin.
and Steve Martin.
Yeah.
Okay. So I want to throw out, well, first of all, back to the Cosby thing, man. It really does bother me during that whole time he was just doing this.
Yeah,
awful-
we all know. Yeah,
No, but I mean, it's like I hate giving him credit, but goddamn, that's a funny album.
I mean, it is what it is. I mean,
It is what. Yeah, it doesn't take
It's
away
kind of like,
what
it's kind
he
of like
did.
listening to Michael Jackson. He's still a brilliant artist, even if he was a fucking.
Well, dude, if we weren't at a time, I would love to dissect Chappelle, Louis C.K., Bill Burr, Maniscalco, but we're running out of time. Bill Cosby was brilliant, but he's a monster. So
No.
So here, I had a lot of designated hitters, and we didn't touch on a lot of them. So I
remember when Hitler did stand up? No.
right?
yeah,
If you can just forget about the whole,
before the
Third
Jews-
Reich thing. I mean, the guy was
no.
like an amazing painter. He was-
No, before
If it
the
wasn't
whole
for the serial rape.
yeah.
So here, I'm gonna throw these out here.
Before the Jews thing, Hitler was funny.
The thing about Cosby that was so weird is he did the whole like America's Dad thing, and then he comes out being this like horrible, like Predator. Like it's so.
That's just like that Meister in Final Fantasy. He's the greatest guy, and then it's like, no, he's the main bad guy.
It makes it even worse.
He's the guy on Star Wars.
He was literally the opposite of him on his show.
Palpatine. He's Palpatine.
Palpatine, man.
And he was telling black kids to pull their pants off.
Right.
Shit. Yeah.
While he's pulling pants down.
Yeah. That's right.
That's
he's
the
doing
line.
The Cosby
That's
show. He's thinking, wait till they see the punchline to this one.
Thank you, Darcy.
That was great.
That was a good one. So listen, let me throw out my designated hitters because I think there's a few that we didn't mention that we should at least notice. Starting off, probably one of the first dirty comics that really hit it was Lenny Bruce.
Oh yeah.
Ever get a chance, listen to Hey There, Masked Man. It's one of the funniest things.
Well, that's like Pryor, man. He's iconic.
Oh man,
it's like you don't even have to. Yeah.
This one not so much. He's more.
Oh man, Laka.
I was just gonna say that Andy Kaufman.
Oh.
Yeah. But he was more of a performance artist almost.
Yeah,
I mean,
I wasn't crazy about a stand-up.
he's more, and you know who we didn't mention also?
Jim Carrey.
Yes, John Leguizamo.
Yes.
Brilliant. Another guy
Brilliant
that
actor.
cross dresses all the time, straight as board. I had Bill Burr on there, but like I said, I like him as an actor. He's great on The Mandalorian. Good things about him. Bob Newhart deserved a little more time from us. Bob Newhart nearly got Johnny Carson's spot over Jay Leno.
He should have.
He was brilliant. He would have been a perfect replacement for Johnny Carson.
And there was a guy up in Queens that was better than Michael Jordan, but it happens.
No,
so
Len Bias, dude. How about Len Bias?
Oh man, yeah, he would have blown up.
Died of a cocaine. Yeah. I think was it
right after.
All right.
Right after
anyway. But I don't get your comparison, Darcy. Bob Newhart has a massive catalog.
He's done comedy.
I know. Come on, I've seen tons of
I
Bob.
thought you were doing like it coulda, shoulda. Nah, he
I was
really could have gotten it.
I was joking.
Leave him alone.
This is about jokes.
Yeah.
I do have to throw out one name which should have been on my honorable mention. If you guys like Stephen Wright and you like Hedberg, and this guy's still alive, Todd Barry. If you look him up, TODDBARRY, Todd Barry.
Okay.
He's kind of like.
What about Dennis Miller? Dennis Miller was good stand-up too.
Dennis Miller is great.
He pontificated a little too much, but he had
a shtick. I mean, Miller definitely has.
I like that he was really smart with it. Like he would make flowers for Algernon into a joke, and you're like, holy cow, that's freaking hilarious.
Yeah.
Couple others. Bobcat Goldthwait doesn't get enough credit.
Oh yeah, lighting the fire and
he's
on TV.
hilarious.
Never liked him.
Nah,
You've seen comedians that I never like Andrew.
Never
Dice
liked Bob.
Clay, never liked him.
my favorite
Goldthwait
bit
I never liked.
he does this bit where he's on like LSD or something, and he's in a car, and a cop comes up and he goes, son, are you on drugs? But he came out like, and he goes, no, but could you do that again?
Yeah, the voice, the affectation
That was
was
his
just,
bit. It was his
couldn't
bit.
get out of him. Like,
I know, but Tom, if you watch the stand-up where he's not doing that shit,
Hilarious, man.
Guy was really funny.
But he did that like 90% of the
I
time.
know.
A few others. One, this is another Bill Cosby-ish one, and that's Woody Allen.
Oh yeah, good one.
What are you giving us? The Rolling Stone list?
No, I'm just going off who I thought.
Look at this list, man.
You already
And then my last one.
Zeus, you already gave us 10.
I'm just giving my designated.
Giving honorable mentions.
It's my last one, and he was like the first dirty comic. Never expected it out of him. That I loved when I was a kid, and that was Buddy Hackett.
Yes.
Buddy Hackett was freaking
the ice cream dude, right? He's selling ice cream.
Filthy.
No, he's filthy.
He's filthy.
I think one of my favorite
Commercials. He was selling like ice cream or something, wasn't it?
I think so.
Yeah,
Pudding?
yeah,
It was
yeah.
something like that. He was selling
Yes, it
pudding
was.
or
The
Yes, it was.
first joke he told in his
No, that was Cosby.
he walks out onto stage and he goes, "These two guys are fucking an owl," and everybody goes like, "Oh!" And he goes, "What? You don't like bird jokes?"
Yeah. Good shit.
So those were my designated hitters.
All right, well, boys, this was a good podcast.
I
thought.
loved it. I loved it.
So if you think we left anyone out, add it in the comments below.
Yes, please.
I don't think we left anyone.
I think we.
right.
I'd like to go back and look at Lenny Bruce
And the comments right there.
down here.
Well, I'm checking out Steve Hofstede and Richard Jenny, and I'm gonna watch Death at a Funeral.
I'm gonna check out Eddie Izzard and Mitch Hedberg, no doubt.
Todd
Oh,
Berry.
you're gonna love Mitch Hedberg.
Yeah. Tom, I think you're gonna like Todd Berry.
Hedberg, and
And
I
Tom,
watch
you listen to
comedians
Bobcat.
in the car getting coffee.
Wow,
You will-
I'm not
yeah.
watching Bobcat.
You got to watch him. And
I've seen enough of him.
no, you got to see his stand-up. You
I've seen his stand up, for God's sake.
Yeah, I
He's
wasn't
not
too
lying.
crazy about him. He just that whiny thing that just got. I just like.
never mind. You guys both.
Sorry, I just.
he didn't always do that. His like stand-up. He was like straight. You know,
Yeah.
not
No,
dead.
I've
Okay,
seen
Zeus,
his-
I've got 37 other comedians.
I will say this too, just for the art form. And I did not go see a lot of comedy when I was a kid, but I've seen obviously Izzard and Berbiglia, a couple others. But if you can go out and see comedians live,
Yes.
do it. You know,
Yes.
even like open mic nights and stuff like that.
And also,
Mike.
also for the experience having done it, I would suggest everybody go do an open mic. Tell a couple of jokes. It's
I'd
fun.
love to do it actually. I think I could pull up like 10.
You said don't. You said
No,
don't do an open mic.
I'm saying do it.
Oh, do it.
You've done
Have
it,
you done it, Jack?
Do it. I have done it.
Oh, how did it go?
but you're not even funny.
I know it worked.
No, you're funny. You're funny.
You're funny.
It worked. It worked. I did it I had 2 different sets. I did it. It was fun. And then COVID.
Tell us.
Seriously, wow, cool.
Tell us your best joke.
They were like story form, man.
Oh, come on, tell us a story, Jack.
No, they're
Come
jokes.
on.
They're
We're,
jokes.
we're out of time. We're out of
Yeah,
time.
the story begins.
I wish I had,
We're out of
I
time.
had a laser pointer right now.
All right. Well, yeah, you get that. You do get that, but it's fun.
I would like to do it. I would like to do it. Yes.
It's fun. Yeah, it's fun. Put a couple in you, Zeus, and get up there.
All right. So on our way out, I just want to say rat shit, bat shit, dirty old twat, 69 assholes tied in a knot. Hooray, lizard shit, fuck. What's that from?
Oh, Jesus, I know that.
Come on. That was George Carlin on Campus. It's where he did the seven words.
7 words.
Okay.
Yeah, which they're all used on TV now.
Yes, they are. Yes, they
Yeah,
are.
that's why I was shocked that he was a 5. That guy was just he
Well-
was an innovator.
No, he's not a 5 for me at all.
No, he's
Yeah.
got to be number 1 for me.
All
But
right, boys, been a long night. I think it's we've been on for a while. I think it's time we have to say goodnight.
absolutely,
Don
forget to
Rickles,
like
baby.
us on Facebook, find us on Rumble, subscribe on YouTube, and look for us on the Gurn Network soon.
All right.
And
What? Not,
Gurn.
yeah,
Right out.
Global Enlightenment Radio
Right.
Network. All right, don't go anywhere. I'm gonna stop it.